Okay, now let's get into planet scanning, and I'm gonna grab some questions from my Skype call with McBackstabber and Grelite. Let's see. The first question I have is... Okay, the first question I actually have, let's turn down... Let's turn down the volume here a little bit. Let's do that. Okay, so the first question is from such_infamous. What kind of PC you've got, Mr. Odd? There's a few words missing, but it's all good. So, that's a good question. Actually, I built... I built my PC, and I built my PC about, I'd say, 2 months before I actually started making YouTube videos. And funny enough, the way that I learned how to build a PC is from watching... Oh, look at that, I can already afford stuff. Is from watching YouTube videos. I watched the Newegg video. If you search for how to build your own PC, it's probably like the first one that comes up. And it walked me step by step through what I needed to buy and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, what I did was I researched the hell out of everything I wanted to buy. I went to, of course I went to Reddit because I live on there. I went to Reddit to the subreddit called Build a PC. So it's reddit.com/r/buildapc. And what happened is I posted something saying, okay, this is what I want to be able to do. I want to be able to run all games at max, and I want to be able to record my games, and I want my computer to be able to handle pretty much anything that I throw at it. So I got a lot of good advice, but one person in particular, he reached out to me and he helped me so much. Just gave me lots of really good advice and all that kind of stuff, and I went with most of the stuff that they suggested. Quick question, do I need to be scanning these until the scanner results go to depleted? Or should I just, like, grab the big chunks and then move on to other planets type of thing? So yeah, anyways, the guy suggested a bunch of things, and at the time, the, like, top of the line card that was out was, GTX 690. And there was a lot of debate whether or not I should actually get this card, because people were saying, oh, you could get a 680 for so much cheaper. Let's see, you can stop at poor. I should leave this planet. Okay, I'm out of this planet then. So I don't need to, like, exhaust them all. That's good. So I got a GTX 690, which was a big point of contention for a lot of people on that subreddit at the time. Because it's essentially two 680s on one card. That being said, I love it. I've had no issues. It's been super good. Like, it's been awesome to me. Anything I've thrown at it for the past 2 years has just been frickin' phenomenal. And it's very pricey. Like, at the time, I don't know what it is now, but at the time, it was $1,000, which was a big investment. But I was thinking, well, if I'm gonna build a PC, I'm gonna do it so that it lasts me a few years. And the term that I used when I was trying to figure out what I should build and how I should build it was future-proofing. And then people got pissed off that I said future-proofing, because you don't future-proof PCs, they change too fast. But honestly, mine's been pretty awesome for 2 years. I've had no problems with it. Alright, so we're poor here, so I'm out. I'm out of this planet. Forget it. Oh, no! So along with that, I originally actually bought an i5 processor, and that was working out pretty well, but then I started kind of learning a little bit more about it, and when I started to figure out that I might have better luck and faster rendering times, not better luck, but faster rendering times and multitasking with an i7, then I sold my i5 processor, and I bought an i7. And then I originally had 16 gigabytes of RAM. I have since moved up to 32 gigabytes of RAM. And that's probably been pretty well, because at any time I have, like, Adobe Premiere open, Photoshop open, Audition open. Oftentimes I forget to close games, so I just like Alt-Tab and start working on other things, and then I might have a game running in the background, who knows. And the other things that I have in my PC, I've got an SSD for my Windows drive, which is, as of now, it's Windows 8, which I installed a few weeks ago. That was interesting. I like it. No complaints after I got everything working. And then I've got another SSD just for my game drive, so it's a 240 gigabyte SSD just for games, so all of my Origin games, all of my Steam games go on there. And then, what else in a PC that is interesting? I guess, so my monitor, I'm kind of in between monitors right now. I've got, currently what I'm looking at is an Asus, 27-inch, 144 hertz monitor. It's really nice. It has a dead pixel on it though, so I'll be sending it back to Amazon for a refund, but I'll do that at the end of my, I have 30 days. And otherwise, I only have a 40-inch TV, which I've been using for... Whoa, that is huge right there. Which I've been using for, like, I don't know, maybe even longer. I guess maybe 6 to 9 months, probably, I've been using this 40-inch TV, which is good. Because I like being able to see things, really large, but you certainly notice at a 1080p resolution that things get quite a bit better on a smaller screen. And I moved to the... Actually, I'm gonna hit the fuel depot here. Actually, no, we'll do this, and then I'll hit the fuel depot. I had two Yamakasi, those 27-inch Korean monitors that are overclockable. They're 2560 by 1440. But the build quality is really shit. Like, the stand is terrible. The, it's just plasticky, but the screen, it did look really nice. It had a glossy finish. They're the same panels that are used in, Apple displays. So, like, they're really nice looking. But I hated the build quality, and I get into this thing where I move my room around a whole lot, so I didn't want to, every time I was moving them, I was like, these things are cheap. So I sold them. That's when I moved to the TV, and then now I'm gonna move to another monitor. It's unreleased, but it's an Asus monitor. It's called the PG278Q. It's the first 120 hertz, 2560 by 1440p monitor. And that's a native thing. You don't have to do any overclocking. It's like, if your graphics card can push it, it'll do it, which is really cool. And then in terms of like other stuff, I've got a Focusrite Forte for my sound card. My mic is a Shure SM7B. I get that question a lot, is what kind of microphone do you have? Oh god damn it, I'm out of probes. Should've went. What else? I've got, for speakers, I've got monitors. I use Yamaha HS8s. They're 8-inch studio monitors. And then I have a 10-inch subwoofer that is the matching set for that. And the reason I do that is because I also do some music stuff on the side, and music is really important to me. I'm kind of I'm a little bit nutty when it comes to my music. For my headphones, I'm using Denon D5000s right now, as we're saying this, but I have like 5 or 6 pairs of headphones. Anyways, that is pretty much my entire PC setup, I think. If you guys have more specific questions about it, then let me know, but I think that pretty much covers it. The next question we have is Xenon Zane. So, do you think that Mass Effect could benefit from a better morality system than Paragon or Renegade? Yes. Yes, I certainly do. I think that is the biggest disappointment in the Mass Effect series. On an otherwise fantastic game, the morality system is too black or white. And so what happens is you get into, what most people refer to as like min-maxing. So it's like you either have to be Paragon or you have to be Renegade. And I'm gonna kind of talk about something that I'm really passionate about, and it's the Witcher franchise. The Witcher franchise does morality, in my opinion, it's like perfect. You just can't You can't get any better than that. If you play The Witcher, and if you haven't played The Witcher, God, I have some extra copies of The Witcher 1 and 2 kind of combo packs that I should give away at some point. But, The Witcher it does morality in such a way where you're always picking, like, the lesser of two evils. It's not a black and white choice, and black and white choices are, in my opinion, I'm probably gonna get ridiculed for this, but it's lazy game design, because it's too much of a, if this, then this happens. And while from a programming perspective, I'm sure that kind of stuff is happening in The Witcher, it doesn't make you feel like that. When you're deciding whether or not to give information to somebody, you don't know if that's going to come back to bite you in the ass later, and it very well could, and it has. It has impacted me in my Witcher playthroughs a lot. Whereas in Mass Effect, it's like, you know what the outcome is. It's like, you choose blue or red, you know what's going to happen. And in that last example there with where we were talking with Morinth, and it was like I had the option to choose the Paragon choice or the other one where it was like, yeah, I'm gonna kind of play along. It was like, if you choose the Paragon, obviously it's gonna work. Like, you never fail by choosing those things. And it's just kind of like, well, why even give me the choice then? If you want to lead me down a very specific path, don't give me the choice. Make it just happen. And I'm happy to watch a cutscene. Like, don't get me wrong. I will happily watch a cutscene. But, I just think that it could be done so much better, and I think that The Witcher has done it so incredibly well. Those guys are super talented. Their storytelling is phenomenal. You don't have to, like, you just have to kind of immerse yourself, and if you really pay attention to what's going on and you kind of start piecing together the story, you're gonna be in a good situation. Yeah, so I can't figure out your name. Fulligan Cloak? It's in the writing, not so much the programming. Yeah, and I would agree with that. It is the writing. And I think anytime, any good story, you're not sure of what the outcome is. I think with Mass Effect, it's like, well, we're trying to save the galaxy here. I mean, we're obviously gonna save it. I don't think we can fail that, per se. But I think it depends on who you can recruit. These loyalty missions, I don't know how they impact us in the long run. Okay, I'm gonna be out of probes here if I keep spending them in this place. I'm gonna leave this place now. But yeah, so I think that Mass Effect could be hugely improved with that. But I still enjoy it, don't get me wrong. It's an interesting story, and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay. Next question is, would Chris consider... Oh, this is from NJH78. NJH78, what is a 78 for? I want to know. Would Chris consider doing a series in a sandbox game where you create your own narrative? Such as DayZ or Rust? Good question. I'll also throw Minecraft in there as well. And the reason I'll throw that in there is because people have asked me to play that game so many times, I can't even count. But here's the thing about those games. I personally feel that those games are best played with a group of people. And I think that if you were a good role player, like I'm not a great role player. I've tried a few times. I've done some D&D stuff and I'm not very good at it. But I feel like that's where those would really thrive, and with a group of really good friends and people that you like spending time with. In terms of like just making my own story from it, probably less interesting to me, because it's so like DayZ. I haven't actually ever played DayZ, but it's zombies, right? So I don't know, I have The Walking Dead for that. Like, I kind of get my zombie fix from there. For Rust, I've never really understood what Rust is. I've seen a few people play it on YouTube, but I just kind of look at it and it's like, okay, it's kind of like a Minecraft, but with weapons-ish. That's the vibe that I get from it. Sorez, you don't have to worry about me ever playing Mass Effect, Minecraft. It's just not gonna happen. It just doesn't appeal to me. I've actually tried Minecraft. I played it for about 2 hours with, 2 other guys. And I was just like, the whole time I was like, okay, so why am I doing this? Like, I almost feel like for me, I need an objective. I need something that's pushing me forward, and Minecraft and Rust and those kind of games, I don't think would really do it for me. And that's why, so, I don't know. I'm never gonna say never, because I think that, you know, if there's ever a big drought in games and there's nothing interesting coming out, then maybe I look at it and I play it for a week and see kind of where we get, and maybe get some viewers in there and we dick around or whatever, but it's not something that I would see me enjoying on the long term. Okay, so the next question, also from NJH78. He goes, could Chris give his thoughts on the new Thief game now that he's played it for a while? Good question. Oh god damn it, my probes. That is a statement I never thought that I would make. Okay, so we need to head back to where the mass relay is. What if you run out of fuel? Like, game over, I guess. So regarding the Thief game, yeah, so I started the LP, and I hate not finishing games. This is like, Thief is like the 3rd game ever that I haven't finished, on the channel, I think. The first was Assassin's Creed, the second was Hitman Absolution, and
you have no fuel. An emergency FTL jump is necessary to reach a fuel station.
Oh, good to know. Okay, well that's not so bad. I wasn't paying attention, doing too many things at once. Okay, fuel. So yeah, and so now Thief, and I know Thief disappointed a lot of people, or the fact that I stopped playing it disappointed a lot of people, and I feel bad about that. But I just can't play something that I'm not enjoying, even if it's just to finish it. I tried even just focusing on the story missions, and it was like, it was just a drag. The story was poor. It really was. There was one point where it's like, I was super intrigued at the beginning. And I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there's some scenes at the very start that are like very gripping and very interesting, and you kind of get the feeling that there's like almost a supernatural kind of twist, and you want to figure out what's going on. But upgrade. How can I upgrade my probes? I don't know if I can do that yet. Oh, and I lost my minerals? For frick's sakes. All right, fair enough. Well, I'll try not to let that happen again. Yeah, so the Thief story was just very convoluted. At one point, in the point where I stopped, it was like, okay, you have to go here because the person that you're looking for is inside. It's like, there was no indication that I should have been going there. The person I was looking for, I don't know why they would be there. It just didn't make any sense. And I almost feel like the way that you do all the loot, it's very repetitive. I liked, when you were in the first little jewelry store, I liked that you could grab like everything in sight, and that was fun. But that was fun for like 20 minutes. And then it became like, okay, once you just go on these little loot fests, what's the point anymore? I don't really need to just grab all this stuff. It was mostly just an elaborate leaderboard. And the thing is I wanted to like Thief so badly. Like, I gotta say, and for people that say Thief is not like Dishonored, I would have to disagree with you, because it's very similar. The way that you move through the world is very, very similar. But that being said, it just got very repetitive, and I feel it could have been so much more. Did we expunge this planet? Moderate. Okay, we'll do one more scan. But yeah, you know, the thing is the gameplay was really good. It really, oh, perfect. It really was good. I just needed more. I just needed something that would keep me wanting to come back to it. I didn't have that desire like, oh, what's gonna happen with this person or what's gonna happen here. Like, that wasn't really driven home to me. So, unfortunately, I stopped playing it, and I should probably make a video talking about that, kind of similar to what I did just now, but maybe in a little bit more detail. Let's go and see if I can do these upgrades now. Specifically the ship ones that are going to help my planet scanning a little bit quicker. Modular probe bay? 100%. Oh yeah, there we go. 100% probe capacity. And then advanced mineral scanner. Oh, I'm very close. I may as well grab multi-core shielding. So we only need, what? Like 1,000 more iridium. Alright, cool. Let's head back out. So, yeah, that's kind of the thief thing, and I wish it was better than it was. Okay, another question. This is from Vinny879. What is your favorite game so far, Mr. Odd? Well, I think that I've spoken to this a lot, actually. But it's The Witcher. And it's... I don't know what it is about that series and that world, but it just has me gripped so hard. I love the fact that in The Witcher 2, and again, I don't want to spoil things for people that haven't seen it, or that haven't played it, I should say, but The Witcher 2 has a branching path where basically the second half of the game, depending on a certain choice that you make, is completely different. Whole new quests, whole new everything is just different. And to this day, I've only played one of those paths, and so my plan is to actually go back and play... Oh, I didn't even buy more probes, damn it. I'm gonna go play the other path before The Witcher 3 comes out, which got pushed back to 2014. So the next logical question is gonna be, well, how do I feel about that? Honestly, the way I feel is that it's like, that is smart. Good for them. I would rather them take their time, put out a game that already has high, like, this game has crazy high expectations. It's gonna be super hard to live up to them as it is, but now that they have a delay, I think the expectations go up even higher, but at least they can attain that. Attain, and by attain I mean obtain. Okay, we've got an anomaly here. So does that mean I'm gonna be, landing? I think so. So my favorite game is definitely The Witcher. Okay, here's the anomaly. Let's see what this does for us.
Something on our sensors.
Let's go to it. Now, when I find these anomalies here, are these full-on missions? Because if these are missions, I probably won't do a question while this is happening. I'll try and, like, stay focused and not die. Okay, Samara, I want to see this power. Let's bring out Garrus. Whoa! So are anomalies just like little, like, kind of whatevers?
Interfering with your navigation. The nearby beacon towers may serve as a navigational contingency.
Okay, follow the beacon then. So I guess we go through here. I'm assuming something bad is gonna happen. Stop chipping away at this node. There's nothing left to mine. Move on to the other sites now.
We should be cautious. The atmosphere is toxic.
Okay, what does that mean? I got bugs.
Heads up!
Oh, these things! Whoa! Son of a bee. Okay, first of all, let's throw Reeve in here. And then let's throw... You can just use your armor-piercing ammo. Concussive shot. Overload. And throw field. Okay, what the hell's going on? Am I just supposed to follow this laser? 'Cause that's what I'm doing. Okay, let's see how Reeve works. Alright. Oh, damn it. Well, it works pretty well. Stay away from the walls. This is one of the worst in terms of glitches. Great! I'm sure this will work out really well.
What were these people doing here?
Fall back now. Evacuation shuttles are on the way. Anyone not at the gathering site when the shuttles arrive will be left here with those damn bugs.
A fight happened here recently.
Thanks, Samara. Maybe one day you can be a super Justicar. Okay, eyes peeled. Whoa, what the shit is that? Concussive shot, that one. It's not even down still. Kind of tough. I'll take the other one. Uh-oh. Like, what the hell are we doing here? Oh, God. Dead end. That's probably it. All of that. Oh, maybe not. Let's not be so pessimistic, shall we? So this is basically just follow the lasers. Interesting beacon spot. At the end, am I gonna find a whole bunch of minerals? That's what I imagine. Going in.
That one is dead.
Die! I lit you on fire. Oh, really? I threw the barrier on first, knowing full well that I was about to elbow that thing and be inside of him for a split second. Are you guys even... Okay, I've lost Samara. Garrus is... I don't know what they're doing. Okay, now you're at the radio tower is being lit, or whatever. It's being laser beamed. I don't know where my teammates are. I hear a battle. Oh, there you... Jesus, I almost shot you. Whoa!
Firing eye impact shot.
Okay, this is gonna be an issue. Garrus, help me! God damn it! Okay, I'm back. Good job taking down the Krogan. Uh-oh. Oh, nice shot. Alright. So actually, I don't know how frequent these missions are, but it'll be a nice little break from the Q&A because I'm gonna try to be like as detailed as I can with you guys, because I assume if you ask questions, you do want actual answers instead of, oh damn it, instead of just A or B type of thing. Curious is calibrating, give him time. Well, he needs to work on that, okay? He's probably on an iPhone. He needs to be on like a Nexus 5 or something. Okay. Encountered unclassified hostile alien species, eliminated blood pack forces. Wow, that seems like okay. Cool. Yeah, I know that about charging to restore shields, but because I had used the shield boost, the throwing up a barrier thing, it was on cooldown, so I couldn't actually charge either, so I had to just run away. Anyways, let's get back in. Let's find another question here. Let's see. Oh. Did it again. Something on my computer right now is giving Mass Effect a little bit of a hard time. How old? Okay, so Master Soares, how old is Odd? Soares, were you the one that joined the, were you the demons, or the Dark Souls summon? I think you were. I think it was you. Maybe I'm mistaken. Okay, it's poor now, so let's move on. How old am I? I am 29 years young. And I would like to know, actually, everybody in chat, whether you're normally a chatter or not. I would like to hear your age. I'm 29. I'm gonna be 30 this year. December 30th is my birthday. So, yeah, it's interesting. You're probably thinking, well, that's kind of old. But it's like, I don't know. The older you get, and it'll be true if you guys, if a lot of you guys are a lot younger, which I'm sure most of you are younger. 21, 30, okay, good, there's a 31 in here. 32. 22. Okay, so everyone's like in their 20s, mostly. There's some young guys here. To the young ones, I apologize for having poor influence on your I'm gonna say the word virgin ears, but I don't mean it in the sense that, you know what I mean. Just sometimes I drop a few F-bombs here and there, and I try not to, but it just happens sometimes. Specifically in the Souls games, they really piss me off. In a good way. But yeah, I'm 29. My birthday is December 30th. And, yeah. I don't know. There's not really much more I can expand on that. But a lot of people ask me, so it's interesting why a lot of people ask me that. I've had people ask me that, in YouTube comments and stuff. And now here by a bunch of people, so I think it's interesting. To the really young guys, I think it's cool that you're into, like, YouTube and you get involved with stuff like that. It's really, it's cool. That's the future, man. If I could do things all over again, I'll tell you one thing, I would have done my schooling a hell of a lot different. I was a really good student, actually. But, believe it or not, my memory wasn't as shit as it was, or as it is. But, I went into business for school, and I would not have done that, because I didn't actually finish university. I was like, I'm gonna go for business, because that's kind of what everybody does, and if I would have done things, if I could do things differently, I'd be taking, like, computer sciences and getting involved. Maybe, I don't even, oh my god. Oh, you know what's happening? I know why it's clicking out, because I'm in, I know what's happening here. I think. Oh no, never mind. I thought I was in, like, bordered full screen, but I think I'm, like, clicking off my window somehow. Because I have the two screens set up. But anyways, Tareth is done. So I probably would have taken something computery. I don't know if I would have gone necessarily into, like, game design or something, but there's just so many jobs that are available to that. I have a great job now, and I love my full-time job. YouTube is, I mean, it's morphed into essentially what is a second full-time job. Like, I dedicate a lot of time to it. But I couldn't really do that if my existing job wasn't as awesome and flexible as it is, so... Yeah. Anyways, that answers the how old am I question. What's the next question here? Killer X09. What are you planning to play next? Man, that's such a tough question. I'm gonna tell you guys something that I've been struggling with, lately, and this is something that weighs on me. It sounds petty, because it's like first world problems, right? But, when you're running a YouTube channel, at least for me, I am the type of person, like, I want to play all the new games that come out. Like, I really do. Infamous Second Son came out on Friday. I hadn't played the second one, so I probably wouldn't have done this one anyway, but I wouldn't have had the time to do it, because I have too many series going on. I just finished XCOM, which I'm going to take a little bit of a break from, just because I don't want to burn myself out on it. I've had XCOM going up almost every day for, I don't know, many months now. And part of the thing that I struggle with is I commit to too many games, and then I don't enjoy them all because I am thinking like, okay, when I go home after work, I have to record this video, it has to go up, and then it's just that when I sit down to actually play it, I thoroughly enjoy it. Totally, 100%. But it's the just kind of having things hanging over your head that you know you have to do. That to me starts to weigh on me a bit. And if I get to the point where I'm overloaded with the amount of games I have to be doing concurrently, then it's not good for my health. So, what am I gonna play next? To answer that question, I don't really know what's coming up next. Dark Souls 2 on the PC, that's coming in April. I'm very, very excited about that. I should be done Demon Souls by then. If you guys aren't into the Souls games, and I wasn't, like, I had heard about these Souls games, I was like, that does not look fucking appealing to me at all. They're awesome. And I would highly suggest giving them a try. You can find them for so cheap now. But so there's that. There is, like, literally every single person that makes video games videos on YouTube is going to be playing Watch Dogs. So, like, yeah, pretty exciting. There's so much controversy about Watch Dogs right now regarding the graphics and how things are looking now compared to what they looked like before. I think the term is called bullshotting. This is like a term that everyone's talking about lately, where games are being shown, or I guess, yeah, it would only relate to games, but games are being shown using like pre-rendered cutscenes and really well-defined visuals at these big events to get promotion. But then the actual game comes out and it's like, it looks nothing like how it was supposed to. And that's really unfortunate. I think that's a bullshit move. I can totally understand why they do it, because they want people to get excited for their game. But make a good game and people will get excited about it. I think another thing is, you know, visuals is a big thing right now. Like, everybody wants their games to look the greatest, and I'm the same. Like, don't get me wrong, if a game looks terrible, it's hard for me to get into, whether the story is amazing or not. If a game looks terrible, it's hard, but I think people and game companies sacrifice the story or the meaning behind their games in order to attain this, like, ultimate level of visual fidelity. But Watch Dogs is one of those that's coming out. Dark Souls 2 is coming up. MLB The Show, I'm gonna do a full Let's Play of that. It's a baseball game. No, I'm just kidding. I will be buying MLB The Show. I buy it every year and I play a shit ton of baseball on my PS3 or now my PS4. And my Vita sometimes. The cool thing is about that game is you can, if anybody's into sports games, you know that if you start a franchise, it's very limiting because you can't take it with you when you go anywhere, and it's like you have to just, you're really committed to it for like a year. But from my understanding, the show now, you can, I know you can transfer saves between your Vita and your PlayStation, but you can also carry over your franchise into following years now. So you work hard all year, and you can carry over your franchise so that things have the new improvements and everything when they release a new game the following year. So, other than that, I get a lot of requests. I get a shitload of requests. Looking at the screen now, you guys are asking me about Dragon Age. So, I'll be honest, okay? Dragon Age... I fired up Dragon Age, and I tried it for about 10 minutes. And I was just like, not into it. I don't know what it is. I know it's a BioWare game, but I'm not really looking for a Mass Effect clone set in like a different time. And I'm not saying that that's what it is, because I can't judge it because I haven't played it. But I was just so not engaged right off the bat. Whereas like Mass Effect, it's like, it grips you, right? It's very, very good at that. Goat Simulator is another one, yeah, that I should probably do a full Let's Play on. I should probably just do it. Because it would be awesome. Like, why not? Yeah, so I don't really know. There's not a whole lot of games right now that I am anticipating. I wish that there were more, and there's probably some that are coming that I've forgotten about. But you know what? Sometimes just certain things just aren't my style, and I don't want to play a game. Cause here's the thing, I don't want to start a game that I'm not going to finish. And the fact that I haven't finished Assassin's Creed 3 because it was terrible, and I can't finish Thief because it's just not entertaining at all. Even for people watching, I don't get how they would like watching it. It's so dry. And I hate saying that because I spent a lot of time making those videos. But it's just like you're looking at drawers. And then Hitman Absolution is one that I would still maybe go back to at some point. If you ever see a random like Hitman Part 30 or whatever, don't be surprised, because it was actually pretty entertaining. And yeah, so I think that covers off what kind of games I'm looking forward to. Vinny879 says, what Mass Effect race does Odd like the best? That's a tough one. I mean, I like I like the L-Core. You can't not like the L-Core, right? And as a race, I would say they're probably one of the most interesting. But I also like the Hanar for some weird reason. I don't know why. I'm just like into them. It's weird. And I just kind of think that because they're like, they talk about the Enkindlers and all this crazy shit. They're just really weird. But I would say my favorite is probably L-Core, but Volus are cool too. All of these really cool species that I can't get on my goddamn squad. And I wish that I could because they're fun. But I would say the L-Core. I'm gonna settle and say the L-Core. Grelate, one of the mods in the chat, he's a good friend of mine. And when I first started playing Mass Effect and saw how these L-Core were, I was like, Grelate, you're totally an L-Core. Because Grelate's like a guy that... Okay, well that was fast. Grelate's a guy, tough to explain, but he's very reserved and very nonchalant, like very sarcastic, but quite witty. But I almost feel like he should adapt the L-Core strategy of telling me how he feels before he actually tells me what he's saying. Drell are cool, don't get me wrong. Drell are cool, there's so many cool ones, but if I had to pick, like, you're telling me, nobody in here right now is telling me that they wouldn't pick a goddamn L-Core to join their squad. Like, you'd be there in a heartbeat. And they would have, like, I don't know what kind of attacks, but they would hit, like, trees. Like, I imagine they'd swing, like, elephant-style weapons, like trunks, that they don't really have. But they would be pretty solid. Let's see. Okay, squad win. I've got a good question. What was the turning point when you started appreciating storytelling in games? Okay, so here's another one that's gonna take us back a ways. When I was younger, and I mean from about... Okay, I went through phases of gaming, so let's start there. When I was younger, I would say around 12 to 16-ish, in that range. This is not the answer to the question. I was into games like, any like Street Fighter, like any kind of fighting games, Mortal Kombat, all of that kind of stuff. I played those all the time. I would go to the, what would called like a confectionery, which is like we call it the corner store. So my brother and I would go down there with a bunch of quarters, and we'd play these arcade games. And they had like 2 arcade games. We never had a full arcade. It was just these 2 games. One was Street Fighter. But, the first real game, the first game that I ever actually played through and finished that had like a cool story was the first Metal Gear Solid. Like the first one. And I remember, so my parents, no, okay, so this will help me figure out the age. So my parents were divorced when I was 12. And I remember spending time at my mom's place playing, Metal Gear Solid. I remember laying on the floor, looking up at the TV in like the most uncomfortable position of all time. Oops. And playing Metal Gear Solid. And I remember the very beginning of that game. You start out and you're like outdoors trying to get into this facility. And it's super snowy and you had those little vision cones, I think. I think you had, or did the enemy might have had the vision codes. Or vision cones. And, I remember it being super snowy. Okay, we got another anomaly. And what was cool about it was that at the time, I know I gotta go towards the thing, but I'm just gonna grab the minerals. What was cool about it is that at the time it was like, holy shit, this game looks so good! But I recently picked up like this Metal Gear Collector's Edition thing for the PS3, and it had a download code for Metal Gear Solid, and I ran it. And it's terrible. It looks terrible. But this is one of those scenarios where the storytelling really outdid the visuals. And that was really my first example of a game with a cool story that I actually kind of cared about. But then after that, I didn't really play a lot of video games like consistently. From the ages of about 18, maybe even younger. No, about 18 to 25, my whole life was about music and playing in bands and playing guitar. And so I eventually, around 2 or 3 years ago, I started saying, okay, well, I want to get into these games, but I want to play something that's going to be engaging. And I want to finish them, because that was another thing I had a problem with. That I would start games, I would never finish them. So, what I ended up doing, and that's part of the reason, honestly, that's pretty much the biggest reason I started the channel, was to encourage myself to finish more games. Because I figured if I had people watching and asking for videos, and luckily I had people actually enjoy them, so they came back. That really motivated me to finish a whole bunch of games. So, yeah. And the first game I played on the channel was Half-Life, and that was the first time I ever played that game. And I can't believe that I missed it. It was a very cool game. Stories, obviously everybody, well, I'm not gonna spoil anything. But, yeah, the story was very interesting. I see somebody in the chat saying, what is it? Who was it here? For blowing me. Great, of course. Chris, I played the saxophone. See, that's pretty cool. When I was in school band, I don't know if you guys had school band, but in school band, in 6th grade, I played the clarinet. It was the manliest instrument ever. And eventually, once I started to realize I hated clarinet, they let me play electric bass, which was awesome because I already played guitar. Okay, so we're gonna take a Q&A break here to do some of these, do this anomaly mission. Who should we take? Let's bring Jacob. I feel like he's feeling pretty shitty. He's all cooped up. And let's bring Tally as well. Okay, Tally, let's go into energy drain as much as possible. Jacob, your barrier's fine. Let's just go 3 each of these 2. And then weapons-wise, they always set up with the best. I don't even know why they have this weapon screen. Because, well, I mean, I know why they have it, but it's unnecessary most of the time. Dragon Age 3, I haven't even heard much about, but if you don't need to play Dragon Age 1 or 2 to play it, I would be interested, because it would be very updated, I think. And maybe even Dragon Age 2, I don't know, I only looked at Dragon Age 1 and I was just like, ugh. But, you know, the thing with that is because I record and play all of my games for YouTube, I just know that I'd be hearing like, oh, well, if you haven't played the first one, you shouldn't be playing this one, and you can only, you know, you can only hear that stuff so often. So, I don't know. It would be very interesting. I have to see how they would do it. Because I'll tell you, I would not want to have played The Witcher 2. Cargo ship Terra Allen docked and received a large shipment of resources en route to a facility in the Dranik system. Terra Allen requested escort for the shipment, claiming pirate activity along the route. Alright. I would not want to have played The Witcher 2 or Mass Effect 2 or anything, or Portal 2, without playing the original. I don't know why. There's just this thing inside of me that's like, I have to play the games in chronological order. Whoa, what do we got here? Okay.
You're dead.
Alright, I'm gonna go deal with this one. Oh, I actually wanted to charge there. That's another reason that sometimes people ask me why I don't charge very often. Honestly, I hit the button wrong quite a few times. More times than I'd like to admit. Almost 75% of times that I throw my, my pull, I mean to charge. Investigate the Eclipse presence in the mining facility on planet Helamine. So I would like to hear from you guys while I'm doing this. Have you ever jumped into a series like midway, and what is that experience like? Do you feel that you are missing out on things? Because that's how I would feel. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's check the other side here first. Also, I want to say, guys, thanks for everybody having a really solid contribution to the stream. I'll touch base with the mods after in case I've missed anything, but I don't think there's been too many issues. This is like my first real stream on this channel. And I'll probably start coming back here more often. But, yeah, everyone's been pretty good. Lots of participation, lots of good comments, lots of interesting comments, and pretty good people overall, so thank you. I really do appreciate that. Somebody's saying, Vinny, speaking of not breaking the rules, Vinny879, can you change your name color instead of that bright green, because it's really hard to read. Fallout 3 without 1 and 2. So that's interesting. So, because what I understand, Fallout 1 and 2 are like top-down, very different games from Fallout 3. That one, I don't know if you need to know a whole lot. And I guess it depends if games are super sequential or whatever. It all depends, but I've heard a lot of people say that Fallout 3 is totally playable without knowing the first few. I also know that a lot of people would probably say, well, I'd watch you play Fallout 3, and I understand. Oh, I can't cross here. I understand. And I get why. Because watching somebody play a game that you're not really interested in playing is very different. Like, for me, I used to watch a lot of Civilization 5, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna like this game because I'm watching somebody play it. I really enjoy that. But, nope. I don't know what it is. That game just gets kind of repetitive to me, but to this day, That's like one of the only things that I'll really watch people play on YouTube is Civilization 5. And I know that's kind of getting off track about the sequence, or I guess what would you call it, the consecutiveness of games, but I think that I like to play games from the beginning, but apparently there's quite a few that you can do without doing that. And that's no knock on the first games either. It's just sometimes those games being like when you grow up playing these type of games, it's like it's really hard to go back to something that's really stripped down and really like old school feeling, and it's just tough. And maybe it's not tough for everybody, but for me it is. Move the cursor. Okay, it's teaching me how to hack again. That's good. Okay, where? So I hope that answers your question. I don't even know how we got there, but we did. Because I don't think that has anything to do with the last question. What was the turning point when you started appreciating games? Yeah. Hold on. Okay, we got that. Let's decrypt.
Nothing's gonna hurt me now.
Yeah, because you threw up your barrier. That's why. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to defend while we decrypt. If you guys have more questions too, keep them coming. I'll try to get to like as many as I can. Until either I can't scan planets anymore, or my voice gives out. Whichever one happens first. Which will probably, at this rate, be my voice. I'm shooting this thing like it's a shotgun. I'm wondering why it's not doing as much damage.
Have a nice trip.
Oh, hold on. Okay, let's throw on the fire here. That'll help a little bit. Boom! Double pull. Probably a waste. I'm knocking this guy out. Oh, he already burned. That's too bad. Oh, man down. Woman down.
Take the heat off.
Okay, this is gonna be serious.
I'll tear you apart.
Get down.
That not hit? There we go. Let's not waste it though.
Their shields are mine.
Come on over.
Are there any more back there? I guess not. Oh, I think there is. I wish that when you charge like that, you'd knock down all the others in front. Take him down. Okay, let's decrypt already. This better be worth it.
Leave the shield for me.
Get over here.
There we go. Now what? Ammo, please. Do we have to go back now to that machine? I think so. Another game that I know, I just looked over and saw Jedi, but I know that Grelite's gonna talk about is Knights of the Old Republic. And, okay, where the hell?
Ah,
there we go. Okay, it's complete. The data has been sent to Cerberus for further analysis. Alright, cool. So, let's get another question. Xenon Zane or Zenenzane, says, what do you think about the changes between Mass Effect 1 and 2? Good question, actually. I think all of the changes are good. I do miss the, what do you call that thing? I do miss the machine that we rolled around on the planets with, for sure. I do miss that. And I wish that they would have done the mineral scanning a bit different, but literally everything else is improved, so I can't really complain that much. The game runs phenomenally better on my PC, like, there's no question. Weird bugs aside and stuff, like, it's awesome. So I think everything is pretty improved. Okay, next question. The heavy metal potato. The heavy underscore heavy underscore metal underscore potato. The Mako, yes. The Mako was fun. It was awesome. Okay. Chris, have you seen any Dark Souls lore videos? Do you understand everything that's going on in the story? If not, are you planning on seeing any video in the near future, or will you do another full playthrough to make your own story? Okay. So I'll answer the last part first. Dark Souls related. I am doing another, like, Dark Souls 1 playthrough. I'm streaming that on the weekend, so I'll be doing that tomorrow for a few hours. We go through and I basically kind of work with everybody to figure out what we should do, and last time we summoned people and it was awesome because it was people from the Twitch, or from the chat, and they found my game and we started playing together. It was super awesome. And in terms of lore, I have watched a few lore videos since I finished. There's two big guys on YouTube that are known for their Dark Souls lore. There's, I'm gonna pronounce the one incorrectly, but it's like Vatya Vidya or something, or Vati Vidya. I think his name is Vati. But he does a lot of good lore videos. There's another one called Epic Name Bro that does, and these guys do pretty much exclusively Dark Souls content. I don't know, like, they've put, I can't even guess at how many hours they put into the game, but regardless, they've dedicated their whole channel to these games. And their lore videos are very interesting. But what I find interesting is, here's one thing that I'll say about Dark Souls. People say, oh, son of a bitch. They say Dark Souls has such a good story. Okay, I'm gonna disagree with that. And I'm gonna say that no, Dark Souls doesn't have a good story. It has good lore, and to me there's a big difference. A story is like... The story in Mass Effect is that you're trying to save the galaxy. Okay, that's the story, and all the stuff that happens along the way is, you know, part and parcel with that story. The story in Demon Souls and Dark Souls is... You're an undead, and... Okay, where the hell am I going here? Oh yeah. You're an undead, and I think you're essentially trying to stop the... I guess we can go back here, it's fine. I'll finish that one planet. Was it Helmi or Nepima? Yeah, okay, we'll finish this one. And like these dark forces have kind of taken over. So in Demon Souls specifically, the king, he, I guess, was probably kind of corrupt, and he brought upon all these dark forces to the land, and they kind of took over. And you're, in a sense, trying to fight to get that back. But that's really, like, that's it. Everything along the way isn't story-based, it's challenges, and what people mean when they say the story is that the lore is really good. I would even venture to say that the lore isn't... I'm not gonna... It's not quantifiable as good or bad. It's there, and you get as much out of it as you're willing to put into it. So what these two guys have done on their channels, which I really respect and I really like, is that they're not saying things like for certain. They are... What's the term I want to use here? They are inferring a lot by the information that they've gotten from all of the lore. And I think that's cool. I think it's really cool. Go to local cluster next. What's local cluster? Is that like a place? Oh, I think it is a place. It says I've done local cluster 100%, but I haven't done any mineral farming, so I guess that'll work. Oh, right, all of these. Yeah, okay. Let's scan all of our home planets here. So yes, I have read some of the lore. Even that, it's still hard to follow, and to me, that's okay. It's
Launching probe.
I wish I understood it more, and if I watched a few more of their videos or put some more time into combining the little intricacies myself, then I'd get a little bit more out of it. But I actually just really love playing that game, and piecing together the little parts that I can is kind of a big win. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. It's kind of a convoluted answer, I guess, but yes, I've seen some videos. Do I understand it? Not totally. But I don't think anybody truly understands it. Even the guys that make the videos, I think that they infer a lot, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that they're telling their story or their version of it, which is cool. Okay, Neptune. Oh, poor. Forget Neptune. Oh yeah, okay. Bring on the Probe Uranus jokes. Let's go. Get him out there. Probe Uranus. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I guess I jumped ahead. Vinny879 asked, will I play Dragon Age? I talked about that already. A Gother D. A goat. Oh. A Gother. Uranus is depleted, goddammit. The Uranus is empty. There's nothing. Oh shit. There's nothing happening in Uranus. Let's see. So, a goat herd 9987. Chris, will you please read the Mass Effect Redemption comic? It explains so much about what happened with Liara while Shepard was dead. Interesting. I would consider that, and I'll tell you why I would consider that. So, oh, why am I back here? I'll tell you why I would consider that. I, for the first time ever, last weekend, bought my first comic book. By last weekend, I mean Wednesday. my weekends are Wednesdays, I guess. Okay, wait, am I missing a planet here on that outside ring? What's going on? Oh no, it's Uranus, okay. I bought my first ever comic book, and it was The Witcher. So The Witcher and CD Projekt Red partnered with Dark Horse Comics to release a Witcher comic. And so I went to the comic store, first time I've ever been in there. I had called first, actually, to see if they had it. And I said, can you put 2 aside for me? And so I gave him my name. And I walked in, and he instantly, the guy could tell I was lost. Because I have no clue what I'm looking for, or whatever. He's like, hey, are you looking for something specific? Or do you want me to show you the store? I was like, if you could show me the store, that would be awesome. Like, the guy was super nice. His name was Mark at Comic Hunter in Montreal. Anyways, he showed me around the store, showed me like how they file everything, where the different styles or different genres of comic books are. And I was kind of like overwhelmed. I was like, there is a lot going on in comic books. So I found a couple other things interesting there. So I really like the TV show Dexter, and I bought the Dexter comic books, the full series. Actually, that's not true. I bought 4 of the first 5 because there was a 5-part miniseries, comic book wise. He didn't have the first comic, so I bought 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then I found number 1 and 2 on eBay, and they were from Saskatoon, so it was within Canada, so it was cheap, and I bought those. So anyways, now I have The Witcher and Dexter sitting here on my desk right now. I'm looking at them, and I want to read them. I have them. I haven't set aside time to read them, but if you're telling me that the Mass Effect Redemption, is it 1 comic book, or is it a whole shitload of comic books, or is it the book, or what is it? Because I know there's Mass Effect books. I've seen the books at the bookstore, because often when I'm bored at work, I'll leave and I'll go to what's called Chapters. It's our bookstore, and I will take pictures of books with interesting covers that I think are that could be cool. And then I go and research them on goodreads.com and amazon.com, and then if I want them, I buy them. So I actually just purchased the Fables comics. So they're releasing them in volumes now. So I purchased the first 3 volumes of the Fables comics. And then I also purchased the first 3 volumes of The Walking Dead. And I also purchased the Game of Thrones graphic novels. So those should all be here next week. And yeah, I'm kind of intrigued. It's weird, like, when I get into something, I get into it. It's like I'm either fully all about it, or I'm just not. And, oh, this place is poor. Okay, we're gonna leave. So comic books is very recent for me, but if somebody could maybe tell one of the moderators about the comic so that they can pass it on to me, because I'm getting lost in the Twitch chat. Mass Effect Redemption, is it one comic? Is it a series of comics? Or are you referring to the book? I'm probably not as interested in the books, although McBackstabber is telling me that the books are actually really good. But, yeah. Mars, why can't I scan that? Come on. Fair enough. Earth? Nope. Venus? There we go. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Okay, also about books. So, debate. Were you reading every available Witcher book? So, kinda. I have, let me check. I have The Last Wish, Time of Contempt, and Blood of Elves. I am about 3/4 of the way through The Last Wish, and I love it. It's really cool. One of the things I'll tell you right now is that I don't spend enough time reading, and it's like, it's one of those things, I don't know if you guys have the same problem, but there's always something that you want to be doing, but other things end up taking up your time. It's still things you enjoy, but you're always thinking, oh, I wish I did this, or I wish I did that. Reading is one of those things, and I have a large collection of books here that I wish I could show you guys right now. That are largely unread, because I have them, I'm like, oh, that's such a cool book, that sounds like such a cool thing I'd love to read, so I buy it, and then it just sits there. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll get to that at some point. But when I do figure out time, and you know what, one of the things that I kind of think about is, you know, I have like my full-time job and I have YouTube, which is essentially, honestly, 2 full-time jobs, let's be serious. If I ever got to the point where YouTube could fulfill my income desires, and I wouldn't have to keep my other job, that would afford me a lot more free time to read. But I just have to make time. I have a commute every morning, and after work, I usually, unless I work on like a Saturday, if I decide to go in on a weekend, I take the bus every day because it takes me from the end of my street to the terminal right by my place of work, and I have about 40 minutes to read. But sometimes I want to research something, like something else that I'm interested in, or I want to read Reddit, or I want to just listen to music, or I want to watch a video, or there's always something, you know? And for a book, as you guys probably know, I have I really have a poor memory, and if people are interested in about why that is, I can talk about that a little bit, but it's one of those things that I wish I read more. I just wish I did. But the Witcher books are great. Zara Tanko says, have you read any of the Mass Effect books, and if not, any desire to do so? Do you read books? Okay, I guess I've already, yes. Grellet even says, I guess that'd be covered already by that other one. So, thanks. Yes. Let's see. Okay. Grellet, here's a question for Odd. How does he manage not to die in XCOM on Iron Man Impossible? I keep trying to play the game on that difficulty, but the first missions are impossible. Very good question, a question I get so many times on those XCOM videos. I've even been accused of cheating before. There was a whole Reddit thread dedicated to... Oh, son of a bitch. There we go. There was a whole Reddit thread dedicated to whether or not I was cheating. I don't even know how you would cheat in that game. But anyways, it got brought up. So my advice if you're playing on Impossible is just go really, really slow. If you don't have a shot, if you have a shot that's like less than 30% or less than 50% or even less than like 70%, don't take it. Those early missions, you're reliant on two things. You're reliant on, okay, let's say three things. You're relying on flanking, okay? You're relying on hunkering down, and you're relying on luck, okay? Without a balance of those three things, it's going to be very difficult for you. And honestly, the first few missions are the most difficult in the entire campaign. Bar none. They are the most difficult missions in the entire campaign, is those first few missions. And I would say maybe if you can get through the first four, you're in a pretty good spot. That being said, I have been unsuccessful. If you look at season 2 of the roleplay, I think it was season 2. Grelite maybe can correct me if I'm wrong. If you look at the season 2, that failed. It went really poorly. In the current roleplay, it's like the roleplays are like bad luck. I don't know what it is, but if you look at the current roleplay, we just had a full team wipe, which is really setting us back. But we have some super soldiers still, which is good. But it's gonna be dicey. The other thing that I'll tell you that I don't think, and I'm not gonna, whatever, I'm not gonna talk for anybody else, but for me, if I start an XCOM series brand new, and I'm gonna record it, so I'm recording, I'm saying all my stuff, and I die on the first mission, well, I'm obviously not gonna put that up. Like, I'm just not, because it's like, okay, that's the whole series, it wouldn't work. So that has happened to me, I'd say probably maybe 3 or 4 times, where I've started and I've planned on doing a series, and then I died on the first mission, so I'm like, okay, gotta start over, because I obviously wouldn't have anything to put up. So, yeah. Actually, hold on, before we leave, we should hit this relay. Why isn't it let me... Okay, not a big deal. We'll get fuel at the next place. We can go anywhere, I guess. Anywhere that has these low percentages. There's a lot of friggin' planets, man. Let's go here. I'm gonna have a drink of water. So I hope that answers your question. But honestly, it's really difficult. I've probed Uranus, guys. I've probed it. Uranus has been probed. I couldn't probe it. There was the second place I went to. I already went there. Let's see. So, next question. Yeah, XCOM Iron Man Impossible. The one series idea that I have for XCOM fans, which I think would be good for everybody to learn, including myself, is to only play first missions and record it and just play the first mission. If we're successful, whatever. If we're not successful, whatever. That video goes up and the series doesn't continue. It's just the first mission. And that's the series all itself. So first mission, and then I try again, do another first mission. And really kind of learn the ins and outs, because I've maybe started a first mission maybe 15, 20 times in total. And it's still, there's things I could learn to do better. So yeah, the other thing I would say is just watch a lot of videos, man. I could recommend you some really good channels that do I would say high level XCOM play. So if you look for, on YouTube, if you look for Marbazir, he does really good XCOM videos. If you look for Zamalf, he does very good XCOM videos. If you look for Beagle Rush, he used to do stuff on YouTube, but now he does everything on Twitch, Thursday Night XCOM. It's very entertaining. And those are the guys that I know of that do like Iron Man Impossible. This place is poor, so let's just save our time here. Tuchanka. Can I scan this place? No. Fair enough. Let's hit the fuel depot. Buy more probes. Always, like, there's always this space at the bottom that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna miss sometime. But I guess if I just pay attention to the percentage, then I can figure that out. Okay, next question. Majora's Wrath Mask. Why did you start Let's Plays? That's a good one. Let's see. I'm just trying to read the chat here. People really wanted this Uranus thing. Does it really have Easter eggs? My God. Okay, if it has an Easter egg, I gotta go back. But I thought we had checked it and it just didn't let me go. Anyways, why did I start Let's Plays? I kind of talked about this already. But what I can tell you that I haven't told you about wanting to finish more games is that I can tell you about why I found out about Let's Plays in the first place, if that works. So there was a channel. There were a couple of channels, actually. So I wanted to learn how to play Civ 5. So I went to YouTube and I said Civ 5 tutorials. And... okay, did I not do this? Oh, it was depleted. That's why I didn't do anything.
Really, Commander?
Okay, I'll give it to her. I'll give it to her.
Probing Uranus.
Oh, this is good.
Probe launched.
Does she keep going?
Probe launched.
Okay. Really, Commander? That's actually pretty funny. Okay, you guys, as usual. No, I'm not gonna say as usual. No, you were right. Okay. So anyways, why did I get into it? So as what I wanted to figure out, actually it wasn't even Civ 5, I think it was Civ 4 at the time. Maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe it was Civ 5. Anyways, there was this guy on YouTube named Master Civ 5 or something. And he did the best tutorials, and it was like the frickin' best. It was awesome. And anyways, I watched all these videos, and then it was like, then they just stopped. And I was like, okay, well, I gotta find somebody else. And to this day, I don't know where this guy went. He just disappeared. He had the best videos. Everyone knew about him. There's like a rumor that he died. There's all this crazy shit. But anyways, if he died, I feel terrible. He did the best videos on Civ tutorials. So anyways, I kept searching, and I eventually found a couple others. So I found, I think it's SBF Mad Jin, like D-J-I-N-N. He's actually Canadian, I found out too. And he did really interesting videos, but the quality of the videos was shit. He's since upgraded his equipment so he could do better quality videos, but yeah, it was really kind of hard to watch. I liked him a lot, but it was hard to watch the videos because the quality wasn't there. So the next person I found was Linus117, and if you guys have been around my channel for a while, then you know who Linus117 is. He's become a very good friend of mine, and I want to take this opportunity to tell you guys to go check out his new channel. So he moved, he was at Linus117 on YouTube, but he's moved over to Linus Plays. Linus Plays. So if you could support him, that would be great. And if you do check him out and you like his content, tell him I sent you, and then I win a prize. But I watched his Civ 5 videos, and I was like, this guy's kind of cool. He's got a cool accent. I could probably learn from this. He didn't do tutorials per se, but it was entertaining, and that's where I found out about what Let's Plays were. Because the first guy was specifically tutorials. SBF Mad Jin, he was super knowledgeable, and so he would just talk about all this background knowledge of Civ. And he actually, I guess, had done some work with the guys who developed the game. But Linus was doing a Let's Play, and I was like, what the fuck is a Let's Play? And so then I started realizing, I was like, okay, so if people are doing Let's Plays of Civ, maybe they're doing Let's Plays of other games. So then I'd start looking up like just random games that I'd heard of, and okay, there's Let's Plays of this, there's Let's Plays of all this. And I was like, I don't know, this is something I could maybe do. I don't have a problem talking to myself. So I could maybe do this. And my first Let's Play ever, as I said before, was Half-Life. And if you go back, actually you should. Wait till this video is done, or wait till this live stream is done. But go back and watch my very first video. I sound weird. It's like, hello everybody, my name is ChristopherOdd. Welcome to Half-Life. I think it was something like that, something really weird. But I think that's normal. And so after a while, you just kind of get into like, you get more comfortable and you get to be more yourself. But that's how I got into it. And then, literally, this is what I can say is Let's Plays are the only thing in my life that once I started, I did something Let's Play related every single day since I started it. So like, I mean, I'm comparing that to like other hobbies like photography, music, even things like going to the gym and eating better and stuff like that. Let's Plays are like the one thing that I've done every single day since I started. Okay, am I missing a planet here? Because I'm only at 83%. Is there something in this asteroid belt, maybe? What am I missing here? What am I missing? And to clarify, so Quickfire Gamer's saying, he's clarifying for me about my Civ 5 comment. I love Civ 5. Like, I really do. I wish I could like it more. I wish I could want to spend more time doing it. But for some reason, I just get into it and I'm like, ugh, there's so much going on. It's like, holy shit. It's a big time investment. Oh, maybe this place, because I have to launch like one probe or something. Because I think we came in here and we're like, nah. Let's see. 83%. Well, what am I missing? Oh, check near the sun. Oh, look at that little bastard planet. Okay, Durac. Got it. And of course, it's rich. It's good.
Launched.
So yeah, that's why I started Let's Plays. The_programmer21. What was the most annoying thing about games? Good question. What is the most annoying thing about games? Well, I'm not gonna lie, the planet scanning's pretty annoying. This is actually a pretty cool way to do a Q&A though, like something that I can do mindlessly while I am interacting with you guys. I love that. But not to get too off track. Trying to think of another annoying things in games. I don't know, really. I get annoyed pretty easily, but there's not really things that I've been, like, really annoyed by. That's a really tough question. I guess sometimes I'm annoyed at, this is gonna sound weird, but I'm annoyed at soundtracks or lack thereof. Like when games have music or sound effects that totally don't make sense, it's just like it just blows my mind how that can happen. Like, that's such a big part of gaming, and I just don't get how stuff like that can be left to the side. It's almost more freaking important than anything. Also, getting stuck in walls sucks, so that's another thing that's annoying. But I hope that answers your question. Okay, Durac, you can F right off. What else? We got Dranik and Nith. Okay, so we'll go to one of those. Grelite slipped his own question in there. I see. Will we ever see Portal 2 multiplayer finished? Good question. Alright, so Portal 2 multiplayer, for those of you that may have seen it, and I can almost guarantee that 99% of people in this chat have not seen that. But what I will say is I can't really answer that. I did Portal 2 multiplayer with a guy named Ray, and he had a channel named King's Entourage. And now I think he's got a channel called The King's Bannerman. Grelite, you would probably know better. I don't know if he's even uploading regularly anymore. I'd have to touch base with him. He actually just reached out to me the other day. It's the first time I heard from him in like 6 months. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to touch base with him. We really should finish that because it was pretty fun. And it's interesting. Oops. The Portal games are badass. And it was funny when you play Portal 2 with somebody, yeah, it's co-op, but like secretly you're trying to prove that like you're the smarter Portal person. Because anybody who plays Portal's like, oh, I'm so smart, I can make them portals and some holes. And some of those puzzles, they are really difficult. Don't get me wrong. But some of them are so easy, but you overthink them, which is what I typically do. Okay, Element 0. I think this is the real shit that we need is Element 0. Oh, is it Penguin HD or something? Yeah, I think it is Penguin HD. Yeah, I think you're right, Grelite. I don't know, do a YouTube search for Penguin HD, and if his name is Ray, then you got the right guy. But you can also look up his old videos, King's Bannerman or King's Entourage, things like that. But he's a good guy. I just haven't talked to him for a long time, and honestly, I haven't had the time to dedicate to it. Up until very recently, I had 4 videos going up a day. That is a giant time commitment, and I got into a situation where I bit off more than I could chew. I haven't even played Dota for like what feels like a month. It's probably been 2 or 3 weeks. But I have put some time into Titanfall. Anyways, to answer your question, Grelite, I should finish it. I'll get in touch with Ray and see what he has going on, and we'll go from there. If he doesn't have the time, which is totally understandable, I know he's a busy guy too, then I'll find someone else to continue with, but yeah, I hope that answers your question. Okay, so Backstabber had to leave. Thanks for helping out, Backstabber. I realize I'm about 30 minutes late replying to that now. The Mass Effect comic is a series of 6 comics. Mass Effect Wiki says it's 4. Warning, probably has spoilers. Okay, I won't go there. Yeah, it's 4, and yeah, did not probe Uranus. Thanks, Grelite. Okay, 4 comics I could do. I'm gonna check those out when I'm done this on maybe Amazon Canada, of course, which is not as good as US, but let's not get into it. Okay, and feel free to, guys. You can ask me like any questions that you'd like. You don't have to. You don't have to just stick to like what's your favorite game and stuff like that. But I'm totally cool with talking about whatever you want to talk about. Next question. Let's see. Chibia Moore says, I asked him about any types of games he's bad at playing, and if that's prevented him from playing games he wanted to try. That's a really good question, actually. I mean, if you ask the YouTube commenters, I'm bad at every game, so no, that hasn't held me back. But, no, on a serious note, I'm trying to think. You know what? Actually, there's, I think it's an old school game. It's called Myst, I believe, which is like a point-and-click adventure, but it's literally reading, like, books after books and then just, like, piecing a story together. I think that's Myst. I'm pretty sure. A lot of people are saying to go and get the scanner upgrade, which makes your scanner move fast, but yeah, mine moves fast enough. I don't think we really need. I'll buy it anyways when we get there, but I think because my mouse sensitivity's set the way it is. Oh, somebody's saying, Ganger World is saying on consoles you need to do it because you're limited in the speed at which you can move your cursor. But, yeah, no, on PC it's pretty quick. I wouldn't even really want it to go faster. It'd be harder to find shit. What was the question? Oh, yeah, what did I have trouble with? Let's see. Playing games you want to try. Yeah, Myst. Yeah, right. So Myst is like this crazy game. Which is like, it sounds so cool, and it's like old school gamers are probably really into that. And I think I got like a copy of it that would run on Windows, like a new version of Windows. I ran it, and then it was just like, oh my god, what have I done? Like, there's no way. There's no way. And so I just wouldn't be good at that kind of game, because I need to remember too much stuff, and I'm just... Unfortunately, my memory isn't as strong as it should be for a lot of things. So... Let's see. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We got a lot of questions. I'm gonna go for like another half hour, let's say. But any questions past, let's say, 7:32 p.m., so 2 more minutes. Any questions are not gonna get answered, and we're only gonna answer like questions that are interesting. So, Grelite, be strict on the questions that get passed through. So we'll go for another 29 minutes. Let's see. This is a good question. Actually, I'm really happy somebody asked this. Mazmaz1988. I'm assuming that's the year you're born. Chris, do you find it hard to balance doing YouTube, work, and your social/other parts of life? Okay. So yes, I do. This will probably be a long answer because I'm going to talk about all of those different aspects, okay? So, oh, for son of a bitch. Yes, I do find it difficult. And I do struggle with it sometimes. The thing you have to understand is, and I'll kind of walk you through a day in the life of me. So I wake up in the morning at 7:20. That's what time my alarm goes off every day. And what I do is I wake up, I go downstairs, I take my dog outside, he does his thing. I come upstairs, I shower, I get ready, I pack my lunch, and I go to work. So I catch my bus at 8:30 every day, okay? Then I get to work for about 9 or 9:15, depending on the, pretty much depending on the weather and the bus driver. And then I work until about 4:15 to 4:30, sometimes a little bit later if I need to. And then I come home, and usually I'll come home, I'll kind of unpack my stuff, I'll sit down and maybe have like a snack and watch like maybe an hour of TV just to kind of just chill. And then at about 6:30 or 7, I would say, would be the average each night, I will come upstairs to my separate computer room. I'll sit down, I will record, or if I don't have to record, then I'll just play some random like Titanfall or something. And what I mean by if I don't have to record, because I usually like to record in, I'd say, well, it depends on the game. So Mass Effect I've been doing in smaller chunks of about 30 to 50 minutes. And it kind of just depends on the way that missions are going and the way that the missions are structured. But I typically, like if I sit down to play like Demon Souls or something, I'll play for about an hour and 15 minutes. And the reason I say that, which sounds oddly specific, is because an hour and 15 minutes will net about 3 25-minute episodes. And I'm even starting to think 25-minute episodes are long. I know that some hardcore YouTube people are like, oh, I'll watch an hour or whatever. But for the average viewer, for like 80% of viewers, 25 minutes is a big time investment when you have other shit going on. But for some games, especially like the Souls games, I think they do have to be naturally a little bit longer. I do think Mass Effect, because things are happening so frequently, Mass Effect you could get away with doing shorter videos of about 20 minutes. Yeah, so anyways, I'm not trying to get off on a tangent here. So that's like 7 o'clock to, let's say, 9:30-ish. Then I have to edit the videos, and then I have to render the videos, whatever. So the thing I didn't tell you about in the morning is that if I have videos that need to go up that day, I gotta upload them in the morning, so that takes time. And the other thing I haven't mentioned is my wife, or social life, or my dog, or anything like that. So, as you can see, you have to do some shuffling. And what I try to do is my wife and I, we try to spend at least 1 hour a night together. It doesn't sound like a lot, but during the week, 1 hour a night is it's good. It's at least an hour. We're both working on other things. Like I'm working on YouTube. She just recently went back to school. Yeah, I know I'm talking about like short episodes, but I'm doing a 3-hour live stream. So we're not going to accept any more questions anymore because we're going to wrap up at 8 p.m. Eastern here. And if you guys are in Europe right now, I am super grateful that you stayed. And actually, thank Guy for listening to this Q&A. This is really cool, because it's obviously not interesting to watch. I imagine a lot of you guys are alt-tab doing other things, but... Anyway, so my wife and I, we try to spend at least an hour together every night. We usually have like a TV series or something that we are watching together that we both enjoy. So that's kind of our time to spend together. On the weekends, we like to go to movies, spend time playing with our dog, like very basic things like that. I'd say once every couple months, we have like a social thing with her group of friends. And that brings me to my social circle. So, some of you guys may know this, some of you guys don't. I would say most of you don't. I am not originally from Montreal. I am originally from, well, I was born in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And then I moved to Regina, Saskatchewan when I was about 16. And when I moved there, that's where I started to meet all of my really, you know, good lifelong buddies. Obviously, I had to leave them behind when I moved here. And since I've moved here, I have what I would say is a lot of really good acquaintances, and mostly through work. And they're people that I'll hang out with from time to time. But in terms of like really good friends that I would hang out with like on a regular basis, I don't really have that in Montreal, which is another reason why I probably put a lot of time into my YouTube channel. And just social media in general, because I truly do. I like interacting with people as much as I can. I used to, on YouTube, I used to respond to almost, I would say, at one point it was 100% of comments. If you left me a comment on YouTube, I was getting back to you and we were gonna chat. Now, since the channel's gotten a little bit larger, which I'm obviously grateful for, it has become more difficult for me to read and respond to all the comments, as you can imagine. So, you know, some of the things that that take up time is, you know, I sacrifice time replying to YouTube comments to spend more time with my wife and spend more time doing things that I want to be doing, because it really does take up a large amount of time. And that's one of the reasons I've kind of had this late push to have people go to Twitter. So, Kilfin, Saskatchewan is in Canada. It's on the west coast. It's by Alberta and Manitoba. It's not on the coast. BC, British Columbia is on the coast, and then it's so it's British Columbia, Manitoba, Saskatchewan. No, British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, I think. It's like really bad if that's wrong. But there was like a song I used to sing when I was a lot younger that would help me memorize the order of provinces. Yeah, so anyways, I don't have a lot of like really close friends here, and in a way that like saying that out loud kind of sounds sad, but at the same time, I'm a very like, I like doing shit on my own type of person. Like even when I go back home to visit, I'll hang out with my buddies and it's great, and I love seeing my friends from back home. But after like a week, I'm kind of good. Not with my friends, but just being there. I like where I am, I like my city, I like my house, I like my setup. I'm just happy with the way things are going. That being said, because I live in Montreal, which is kind of like so in Canada, you have Toronto and Montreal, which are two big cities, okay? So it's kind of like your New York. And I would say that if you were to compare Toronto and Montreal, Montreal would be like your New York of Canada. Toronto would be like another big city in the States. Like it's still cool, but it's not, it doesn't have all the art and the culture and stuff like that, which is what Montreal really has, and which is one of the things that I love about being here. So anyways, all of that to say that, how did this even start? Oh, balancing my YouTube. Yeah. So, yeah, it's hard to do. And I don't, you know, once you're married too, it's hard to like, you're not gonna go out and just like meet random dudes. Like you're just not. Citadel, that's not gonna help me. Oh, but Boltzmann, yes. So anyways, that's another reason why I spend a lot of time chatting with dudes online. And that sounds totally weird, but what I mean by that is chatting with dudes while I'm dropping Titans. okay? Which is totally cool for me. So, I hope that answers your question. What about Vancouver? Yeah, Vancouver, let's be honest though, Montreal is still the culture, you know, it's very different. But Vancouver would be like the Boston of the States. Yeah, okay, Paul. Lost Within Music, that's Paul, by the way. He's a very, very good musician. I gotta point that out. He's saying, what did he say? No longer meeting random dudes. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, let's see. Who did you get to design your YouTube banner / profile pic? Okay, this is actually really cool because this is brand new. I just got a new YouTube banner and a profile picture, like brand new. So it depends what you're talking about, because the new one, let's just launch one here in case we have to. The new one is the one that I have on Twitch. So if you look at my Twitch avatar and my Twitch banner, I just had these made. They're by a guy named Greg. And the reason I found him is because he did the art for the Giant Bomb guys at one point. Let me see if I can quickly find his website. I think it's a Tumblr, if I'm not mistaken. I have to Google it by trying to find it through the Giant Bomb guys. If you guys don't know who Giant Bomb is, they're probably, like, for me anyways, if you look at video game websites, they are the ones that I trust and appreciate the most. I'm just trying to find it here. I'm having trouble finding it. But anyways, he really, really did a great job, I think, on the new artwork. It's kind of got like a cool style to it. No, you know what? I have to find it. So just give me a second and let me find it. I'm gonna find it. His name's Greg. This one's not it. Oh, I have an idea of how to find it. Here we go. Okay, I'm getting there, Just because I like giving credit where credit is due. But then he didn't link his page. God damn. Okay, I can't find it right now, but I will find it at some point. And if you really want to know, then hit me up on Twitter and I'll send it to you. But yeah, really cool stuff. If you're talking about the YouTube one, that was made by a guy. He doesn't have a website, but he had something on Reddit, and I just reached out to him. I'm always on the lookout for like cool artists and stuff, because I truly believe that like, I just love art. And if somebody will create something for me that I can use, I just get super stoked. So I hunt these guys down, basically. I find art somewhere randomly, and then I Google search that image until I find their website, or I'll see something they did on Reddit, and I'll just send them a private message and be like, hey, I would love to commission you. And I pay these guys to do it. The prices vary wildly depending on the individual, but if they're reasonable, like within like this guy that did my most recent stuff was super cheap, and I was very surprised. I'm talking like 40 bucks, I think it was. Incredibly cheap, whereas I've been quoted up to $1,000 to get a full like banner package and all this other stuff from other people. And the other guys do really good work too, but everybody has their own price, and people charge what they think they're worth, and I totally get that. I used to have to charge for photography, and it's a really hard thing to do, to charge for art. So yeah, I hope that kind of answers your question. Let's see. I'm gonna just pick out some of the ones that I think are most interesting. Will I play the original XCOM? A couple of people have asked this, but Super Time Man 8. You know what? Maybe. Yeah, I would consider playing the original XCOM for sure. It'd be a total learning process. I would play it blind because I think that's the only way I like doing things. Doing things that are fresh. Otherwise, yeah, I don't want to get off on a tangent again. But yes, I would consider doing the original XCOM. James 1892. Yes, I will upload this to YouTube. Dutch Dominic. How did I meet my girlfriend / wife? So she is my wife, was my girlfriend. It's an interesting story actually. So the place that I was working for, I've been there for 10 years. I was there when I was in Regina, Saskatchewan. And we had to come to Montreal for some of this leadership training that we were taking. So they sent us here, and my wife, she also works at the same place as me, although in a different area. But she had a bunch of friends that were in this leadership training with us. So once I came down here, these guys took us out to have a few drinks and just whatever, hang out. She came along, and I actually didn't like her. I tell her, she knows too. We did not get along at all. It was very, I was just like, who is this chick? Like, what the hell is she, what is she doing? And then there was one thing that kind of helped us, like, not hate each other. We didn't hate each other, I shouldn't say hate. It was just kind of like, you know, you meet those people, you're like, no. You're kind of like, I'm not into this. But, we started talking about, like, Scrabble. Now we're both, like, we were into, like, Words with Friends, I think. I think Words with Friends was out at the time. Maybe not. Maybe it was just Scrabble. But, anyway, so it was just like, okay, cool, we met. It's not a big deal, whatever. And then I went home because it was just a short trip. So, oops. So I went home back to Regina, and from there, I had gotten all of these people that I had met in Montreal on my Facebook, which is something I don't even use anymore. But, so we had all these people on Facebook, and for her, what we would do is we would play Scrabble on Facebook. So whenever you'd sit down or on your phone or whatever, you could play Scrabble. And so we just kind of stayed in touch from that, and eventually, like, a buddy and I went and met her and a bunch of her friends in Vegas one year. So that was really fun. I came down to Montreal at one point just to, like, kind of surprise her, and that was really cool. So it was like we kind of had, like, this... We kind of had a relationship, but it wasn't like, it was, I don't know, it's really hard to describe. Anyways, we just kept in touch, and I kept in touch with a bunch of people from Montreal. So then when I moved here, we already had that kind of existing, like, friendship. So we would hang out all the time, and one thing led to another, and now we're married. So, there you go. Let's see. Couple more questions. I know there's an anomaly here, but I'm not actually going to take it because I want to do as much of this Q&A as I can. Ooh, that's a good one. Nunji. Stupid question time. Odd, I'm curious to ask this. If the Mass Effect universe was real, what would you do with your life? If you understand where I'm coming from. I would find an Elcor friend, for sure. And then I would probably... have to find, like, an Asari girlfriend and or wife because they're hot and super smart. Quarians would be, like, very interesting. I'd probably want to work with them because I think that you would learn a lot. But I would probably just be like, what would I be doing? What would my job be? I would probably work, like, somewhere on the Citadel. Like, maybe I'd work... No, you know what? I'd like to work at, what is it? Eternity? That bar? I'd be, like, a bartender at Eternity on Ilium. I think I've got the right place.
Anomaly detected.
So I'm gonna write this place down as having an anomaly, because we'll come back to it at some point. A-E-Q-U-I-T-A-S. Okay. So that part's done. Let's see. What's the next question? Can you sing us your favorite song without saying the name of the band or the song? I am a terrible goddamn singer, and I won't be singing unless Morden's singing with me, okay? So, I won't be singing. And honestly, most of my favorite songs are all about, like, are all screaming. I'm really into, like, metalcore and stuff like that, so you probably wouldn't like it anyway. But I will say that over the past couple of days, it's really weird. Like, I've been on this weird nostalgia trip from these bands I used to listen to when I was like 16 to 18. My buddy and I, my first car was a Pontiac Sunbird. My buddy and I would always drive around in the Sunbird and listen to music. And what we would do is play these songs and repeat, and we'd just fucking rock. My buddy was a really good singer. He was actually ended up being the singer in my band for like many years. And so anyways, this, and you're gonna laugh, but this, we used to listen to like Nickelback, Theory of a Dead Man, and Theory of a Dead Man is what I've been listening to like for the last 2 days in my car. It's just awesome. So good. It just reminds me so much of my buddy that it's like hard not to like just smile and sing along when you're listening to it. But yeah, that's a little bit about the music. Procyon I'm probably saying that wrong. Procyon are you interested in esports at all? Yeah, I am. I'm interested in very specific esport, Dota 2. I love watching Dota 2. I love it. That there's a documentary they just put out called Free to Play. If you do a YouTube search for Free to Play Valve, or maybe even just Free to Play, it'll probably be the top result that you see now. It's released by Valve. It's a documentary of, I think, the 2010 International, where the prize was like over $1 million. And they follow 3 of these guys from different Dota teams. It is fucking phenomenal. This is like one of the best documentaries I've ever actually seen out of any type of documentary. Let it be about video games or not. It was unbelievably good and completely free to watch, and you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't watch it. So yes, I watched, I think it was the International 3, the most recent International. I bought like the season ticket or the whatever they call it, and I watched the hell out of that. And me and actually Mick Backstabber, he was cheering for Alliance and I was cheering for Na'Vi at the time, and Alliance won, and he was just, we were on Skype and he was just going batshit crazy about how excited he was when they won. So yeah, it's pretty fun. I do like it a lot. I also kind of like watching StarCraft a little bit, but not very much. League of Legends, nope. And pretty much everything else. I don't like watching like Call of Duty. I don't like, you know, I've played a lot of Call of Duty back in the day. That's one of the games I used to play a lot, but no. And you can also download free to play on Steam. And if you do that, it's cool because you get some like bonus commentary tracks with like Dendy and stuff like that. Did I already scan this planet? No, okay. What kind of music do you like? Any favorite bands? Okay, perfect. Xenon Zane, you've asked another question, but this is cool. So I like metal music typically, and not like death metal. I don't actually like death metal at all. And I'm not good at defining certain genres, but I know the difference between death metal and like metalcore and like hardcore music. So anything with like a breakdown, if you know about like metalcore music, you know what breakdowns are. So some of my favorite bands, right now I'd have to say one of my favorite bands is called Volumes. Another one is Misery Signals. They're an older band. They've been around a long time. I really like, I'm trying to think of like kind of some normal stuff that you guys could look up. The Architects are fucking unbelievable. Like really good. The Architects, you'll find, I think there's 2. If you do a search for the Architects, you'll find like 2 of them. But it's the Architects UK is the one you want. But like bands like that, so if you find those, you're gonna know what kind of music I like. And that's, yeah. But you know what, at the same time, I also listen to like blues music. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll notice that sometimes I tweet about this guy that performs on Stage It. He's a great friend of mine from out East Canada. And he's a musician for a living, that's what he does. And he travels all over the world. He's actually in Australia right now. But Stage It, he does these live shows, and he basically broadcasts them on the internet through stageit.com, and you can pay whatever you want to watch them, which is super cool. I usually buy like $5 worth of notes, and I think it's like, if notes are the currency on Stage It, you get like 50 notes for $5, so it's like, you can get into the show for like 1 note is like literally a nickel, right? It's just like super cheap, but, and then you tip throughout the show, so every time I watch a show, I usually end up tipping him like $10 or whatever, along with a bunch of other people, so it's pretty cool. But I like that kind of music. I also love listening to like bands like City and Color. I really like City and Color. I like listening to all kinds of music. I don't really like country. That's one thing I just, no. Everyone in my high school, like, loved country, and I was like, I'll pass, thanks. So, that was just the kind of school that I was in. But, yeah. So, that's the kind of music I like. And, okay, another one. What makes you like Dota 2 but not League of Legends? What's the difference for you? You know what it is? I think it's just I'm familiar with Dota. That was the game that I learned. I never saw League of Legends before I saw Dota, and people would talk about League of Legends, and I was like, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. And so when I've seen a League of Legends stream, it's like, I have over 700 hours in Dota, which is insane when I say it out loud. And if I had to learn again, like, it's a lot of time, man. And so if you're going to now League of Legends and you're like, holy shit, I gotta learn all these guys and what they do and what's good against what. I still don't even know what's good against what in Dota, aside from the obvious stuff, right? Like, I don't know about draft strategies and all this kind of stuff. I let other people decide that and tell me what to do. And I only like to play like 3 or 4 heroes because I don't have time to invest to learn others. So it's a time thing. And, yeah. And the other thing is I like the aesthetics of Dota a little bit more. It's just something I'm just more comfortable with, so. Okay. Last question. We have 3 more minutes. The last question is from Berserkerin. Can you survive on YouTube/Twitch subs alone? If not, what do you need to do to make that happen? So that's a good question. So first of all, your subscriber number on YouTube doesn't actually matter. That sounds like an asshole thing to say, but what I mean by that is that what generates you income on YouTube is your views, okay? And it's even further than that, it's monetized views. So I know a lot of people use AdBlock, and if you use AdBlock, that's fine, that's your prerogative. But you have to realize that when you use AdBlock because you don't like seeing ads, what it does is it prohibits the person that you're watching or the website that you're viewing or whatever from earning money based on ads normally being there. So what you can do on AdBlock is you can actually whitelist, I believe. I've actually never installed AdBlock, so I'm not sure, but I think it's called whitelisting. You can allow certain sites or certain channels to let you you can allow them to show you ads so that you can support that person by watching that little ad or whatever. And it may seem kind of weird, but you guys watch those little 30-second ads or whatever, and that's how I get paid from YouTube. At this point, I'm not in a scenario where I can replace my income by any means, but it does provide me with a little boost where I can reinvest in equipment and some other stuff. So, yeah, that is how you could help regarding YouTube, is disable ad blocker. The other thing is, so Twitch subs, I'm not partnered with Twitch, and I can't be partnered with Twitch until I meet some certain requirements. So the requirements to be partnered on Twitch are, first of all, if you don't have a Twitch channel existing, where the hell? Hold on. Where is my fuel depot? Do I have to fill up in another system? I guess so. Okay, well that place is fine. Let's go here. So with Twitch, you either have to have 100,000 YouTube subs, okay? With an average view of 15,000 per new video that goes up. And I am obviously not at that point yet. Otherwise, if you want to be on Twitch, you have to stream at least 3 times a week, and you have to have, I believe it's an average of 500 viewers, like 500 concurrent viewers, while you're doing it, in order to be partnered on Twitch. So, that's one of the reasons I may switch over to doing Twitch more regularly, is to try and get towards that partnership, because that would help me out quite a bit. But, at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. I'm just having a super time. There is something that I am looking into, which is called Patreon, where people can it's kind of like donations, but I always feel like I can never think of a good way to like say, okay guys, I have a Patreon thing, donate money to me and whatever. It's just really hard to do. Like, I just have a hard time figuring out how to do that. But I know that people would. It's just a matter of kind of getting over my pride to do it, kind of thing. But that's kind of what it would take for me to be able to do YouTube full time. Is for I guess it's all about the people watching, because it's different where on TV you have networks paying you, right? This is all based off of people viewing your stuff or donating you money or paying you money to watch your stuff, however you want to look at it. So that's kind of how it works. So I have a shitload of resources here, guys. This is pretty cool. So what I'm gonna do, just to end this off, is let's go and buy a whole bunch of shit.
New message at your private terminal.
Okay, Kelly. Let's see. Ship enhancements. Let's buy them all because we can. I really wish it didn't exit you from this every time you wanted to buy stuff. Oh, fuel capacity would have been nice. We only ran out of it once. It's not that big of a deal. Med bay upgrade. Thank you. Prototypes. Let's do that. Okay, let's actually take advanced training. Yes. And what I'm gonna do is grab this Reeve, because that looks awesome. And then, let's get the other stuff. Heavy bone weave. Heavy muscle weave. Heavy weapon ammo. Krogan shotgun. I'm just getting everything I can. The avalanche. And the rest is retrain powers. I don't want to do that. I really hate how it takes you out of there. It's crazy. Why would it do that? Like, who came up with that being a good idea? The other upgrade that I would consider taking, everyone seems to be in agreement that Reeve is pretty good, but is the warp ammo. I think would be great, to be honest. Emergency shielding. Oh, Unity restores squad member shields to full strength. Okay, cool. I should actually read some of these. Hard shields. Shields take 20% less damage. Redundant field generator. Sometimes when Shepherd's shields go down, they're instantly fully restored. Nice. Tech cooldowns, 20% faster cooldowns. Trauma module. Unity heals your squad to full health. Okay. And these... I still need more element 0. God. Okay, AP heavy pistol. Sniper rifle. Assault rifle accuracy. We don't have many guys that actually use the assault rifle, really. As long as it's not element 0, I think we're okay. Assault rifle penetration. Heavy pistol damage. Heavy pistol critical. SMG piercing. Shotgun extra. Oh, nice. Shield piercing, yes please. Sniper headshot damage. Okay, we have literally done everything we can. That is a lot. That is incredible. Okay, well, let's get set up for the next mission, and then I think when we come back, so I'll probably put this up as a video for Sunday, and then on Monday I'll have a new episode, which will be the start of Lair of the Shadow Broker. But I do want to say, guys, I really appreciate the support. Like, for the majority of the time, we had a lot of people here, and even now, like, you guys have spent a lot of time here with me today, and I truly do appreciate that. So thank you very much, and we will put this video up for Sunday. I'll split it out between the mission and the Q&A portion. But, yeah. I just want to say thanks to you guys, and special thanks if you guys can please thank Grelite and Mick Backstabber. I think they did a fantastic job. They're probably, with this many people, I probably need to have even more mods on here, because I'm not sure how to best do this. This is my first ever stream on Twitch. So I really appreciate it, guys. I really, really mean that. And thank you very much. I see a lot of good information about donations and how to work that into Twitch. That's something I'll look into. But awesome stuff. I will be doing a Dark Souls live stream tomorrow. So probably not gonna be 4 hours. I just realized it's 4 hours. Wow. But it'll be a super time. And look at all these things popping up here. I feel like I'm winning the lottery. Anyways, guys, take care. Have a good night. Or morning, wherever you are. Oh, and thanks for disabling ad block for me. That's so sweet. Okay, bye.